There is a hidden set of psychological laws being used against you every single day. They are not taught in universities, and they are never discussed in public. Why? Because the moments these laws are exposed, the people currently controlling your decisions, your bank account, and your relationships instantly lose their power over you. This isn't simple persuasion. This is the weaponization of human biology. From multi-billion-dollar tech giants to the closest person in your life, someone is actively using behavioral loops to manipulate your reality. In this video, we are stripping away the curtain to decode the exact dark psychology secrets they desperately want to keep hidden. In exactly 3 minutes, I am going to reveal a terrifying linguistic hack known as the Ego-Shatter Blueprint. It is a specific, two-step phrase used by malignant narcissists to make you completely dependent on their approval within a matter of hours. You need to know this to protect your sanity. But first, you must understand the foundation of all hidden control, the scarcity illusion. Your brain is biologically wired to value things that are rare. When your limbic system perceives an artificial shortage, whether it's a limited-time sale, a rare luxury item, or a partner who suddenly pulls away, it enters a state of high urgency. This triggers a massive spike along your dopaminergic pathway, completely bypassing your logical mind. But why does this work so flawlessly? Because of a cognitive vulnerability called hyperbolic discounting. Your mind is hardwired to choose instant gratification over long-term logic. Master manipulators know this glitch. They deliberately manufacture an artificial crisis, forcing your brain into survival mode so you make irrational choices that benefit them, not you. Once they trigger this urgency, they install a psychological anchor in your mind. It's an advanced conditioning technique that makes you crave their attention like a drug. We will break down how to dissolve this anchor in 60 seconds. But first, let's expose the most dangerous corporate secret on earth, the decoy architecture. When corporations want you to buy a specific high-price subscription or product, they don't just show you two choices. They introduce a third, intentionally useless option called the decoy. This decoy exists solely to distort your perception of value, completely neutralizing the decision-making power of your prefrontal cortex. By manipulating the choices around you, they trigger a state of anchoring bias. Your brain locks onto the first piece of information it sees, making the most expensive option look like an absolute steal. You leave the transaction completely convinced that you made a smart, independent choice, unaware that your free will was entirely simulated. But financial manipulation is child's play compared to interpersonal warfare. The clock has hit our mark. It is time to unlock the dark secret used to break human identities, the Ego-Shatter Blueprint. Watch this closely, because if you have ever felt suddenly worthless around a specific person, you have already been a victim of this. The Ego-Shatter Blueprint relies on a psychological concept called intermittent reinforcement. A manipulator begins by showering you with extreme, calculated praise, flooding your brain with oxytocin. Then, without any warning, they completely withdraw their affection and deliver a highly specific, deeply personal criticism targeted at your core insecurity. This sudden drop throws your nervous system into severe cognitive dissonance. Your brain cannot reconcile the loving person from yesterday with the cruel person of today. To stop the pain, your mind enters a state of frantic overthinking, doing everything possible to regain their approval. This loop forms a biological addiction known as a trauma bond. The true danger of the Ego-Shatter Blueprint is that it slowly erodes your self-concept. By making their validation your only source of dopamine, the manipulator systematically deletes your independent identity. You become an extension of their will, trapped inside an emotional prison where they hold the only key. Now that you see the trap, you need the weapon to dismantle it. There is a classified counter-strategy used by elite intelligence operatives to neutralize emotional manipulators instantly. It requires 0 arguments, 0 anger, and takes exactly 4 seconds to execute. We will reveal this tactical shield next. The strategy is known in behavioral science as the gray rock protocol. Manipulators and toxic personalities feed on your emotional reactions, whether it's fear, anger, or tears. They use your response as data to fine-tune their next attack, a process called operant conditioning. When you execute the gray rock protocol, you deliberately strip away all emotional variance from your voice, eyes, and body language. You respond with flat, completely uninteresting single-word answers. This creates a massive data vacuum in the manipulator's mind, causing immediate cognitive overload. Because they receive 0 emotional feedback, their brain cannot calculate their next move. They get bored and move away. But what if the manipulation is subtle? What if someone is trying to plant a thought inside your head without your knowledge? There is a secret linguistic hack called semantic framing that can bypass your logic entirely. Semantic framing is the art of controlling the subconscious boundaries of a conversation. A master of this technique will never ask you, "Do you think I'm right?" Instead, they will frame the question as, "Are you willing to look at the facts objectively, or do you want to stay emotional?" Look at how your brain handles this. By accepting the premise of their question, your mind is forced into a false binary choice. If you defend your position, you are labeled emotional. If you want to be objective, you are forced to agree with their facts. This is a severe violation of your choice architecture, forcing you to surrender without ever realizing a trap was SCT.to shatter a semantic frame. You must reject the binary options entirely. You do this by calling out the architecture of the question itself. Respond with calm authority. That is a false choice. A person can be completely objective and still find flaws in your data. This instantly breaks their control and restores your cognitive sovereignty. Every dark psychology secret we have decoded so far requires another human being to execute. But there is one final, terrifying secret that they absolutely do not want you to discover. It is a biological exploit built into your own evolutionary programming, a glitch that allows an absolute stranger to reprogram your core beliefs using nothing but sound frequencies. This exploit is called auditory entrainment. When your brain is exposed to specific, rhythmic audio frequencies combined with a commanding vocal tone, your brainwaves naturally shift from an active state of alert logic to a passive state of extreme suggestibility. In this mode, your critical thinking filters are completely down. Information goes straight into your subconscious, turning external suggestions into your permanent personal beliefs. This exploit is called auditory entrainment. But remember what we decoded earlier about the Ego-Shatter Blueprint? External audio tracks are nothing compared to the invisible chains of a trauma bond. If you are currently feeling trapped, constantly overthinking, and unable to walk away from a specific person, your brain has been systematically rewired. You need to break the cycle before your identity is permanently erased. Click on this video right here, and let's decode the exact psychological steps to break the pattern and leave a toxic relationship for good. See you there.